things about the first few days following a Zelda news drop is the sheer drive and passion for making discoveries and finding hidden secrets. Everyone is collectively playing detective and sharing their findings on places like Twitter, Discord, Reddit, and other platforms, and of course right here in the YouTube comments. More and more pieces of the puzzle are being added by the minute as people discuss ideas and compare their findings. So today let's have some fun and cover 5 of such discoveries, details which I find significant and could easily be missed by those who aren't scrutinizing the footage or keep a close eye on social media every second of every day. Oh, and by the way, I've already decided on a more focused subject for a bigger video, and I'm happy to announce that it'll be a collaboration with the man himself, Sir Zeltic, and will go up sometime in the middle of next week, so I hope you look forward to that. Until then, grab your magnifying glass and let's dive into 5 discoveries found in The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. If you played Breath of the Wild, which I'm sure most, if not all of you watching my videos have, you'll no doubt remember discovering those huge mazes. They were one of the more notable and exciting secret locations in the game, and there's been a lot of mystery surrounding their origin and the original purpose for their construction. And well, it seems that in Tears of the Kingdom, these mysterious megalithic structures will be taking off into the sky. Yes, those giant floating cubes we've seen in some of the shots are almost certainly the labyrinths. So far, we've been able to nail down 2 of them with a high degree of certainty. The northern labyrinth found in the top right corner of Hebra, and the southern labyrinth in the bottom right corner of the highlands that wrap around the Gerudo Desert. We can see it most clearly in this sequence. Here's the cube, and if you draw a line straight down to this protruding cliffside, this is where the northern maze should be, but as you can see, it's no longer there. We can find a different floating cube in this shot, and once again, if you follow the line back down to the surface, it matches exactly with the original location of the southern maze, which is normally tucked away in this part of the mountains. No doubt I won't be the first to point this out in a video. In fact, I totally missed it in my initial analysis. But one thing I haven't seen a lot of people talk about so far is that in this shot, the northern maze is still present on the surface. You can clearly see it still standing right there. It is easy to miss because there's a different revelation in this shot which kinda overshadows it. That of course being the equally mysterious Typhlo Ruins, which is now devoid of the black fog that covered it in the previous title. The fact that the northern maze is still on ground level here is significant on many different levels. First of all, it's the only case so far of a landmark we know from Breath of the Wild that has taken to the skies, which is not the case with the other islands and buildings we've seen in the sky so far, as they are all new and unfamiliar. Secondly, the fact that the maze is on the ground in one shot and then floating in another suggests that Link or someone else may have done something to cause it to lift up into the heavens, triggered some kind of event or completed some sort of task or challenge inside the maze, or maybe under the surface below it, sending it up into the clouds. It's also apparent that the labyrinths are much bigger than we initially thought they were, given the fact that they are shaped like a cube. They seem to extend much further into the earth, and the part of it we saw in the previous game was maybe only the top third or even fourth of the entire structure. That said, there was one hint to this reality in Breath of the Wild. Lome Labyrinth Island, situated in the Akkala province, had an extensive basement level, which did show that it was much bigger than we were able to visually see from the outside. However, the other 2 didn't feature a sub-level of this size, and so their actual size wasn't as clear. Until now, that is. The mysterious case of the floating labyrinths also presents the real possibility that perhaps other structures we know and love could also lift up into the skies at some point. Places like the Great Plateau, which also had a big secret hidden under its surface in the form of the final trial, or Hyrule Castle, which has massive tunnels and chasms deep below its foundation. So far the plateau and castle have still remained close to the surface, but who knows, they might take off through a similar process that caused the labyrinths to take flight, especially the castle, seeing it's already suspended in the air to begin with. It could also be that only structures associated with the Zonai are eligible for a trip to the sky. After all, there are clear hints and connections between this ancient tribe and both the Sky Realm and the Underground.
Glory to the Shogun!
The labyrinths
Quiver!
are the only cases of known landmarks originating from the surface that are now floating above Hyrule, and they just so happen to be associated.
Don't waste my time.
Time to clean up. Subtle and maybe insignificant, but you know those new towers we've been able to spot all across Hyrule? Well, not only are there a lot of them and close to places of interest, but they also seem to exhibit similar behavior as the original Sheikah towers. In most of the nighttime shots, we can see 4 bright spotlights at their base, which are pointing upwards, making them stand out from afar, just like the original Sheikah towers did. Furthermore, in most cases, the towers themselves are seen glowing orange. However, in other shots, there are distant objects which look to be the very same towers, this this time with a blue color instead of orange. I'm quite certain that these are the same towers. In fact, this one next to the dueling peaks might be the very same one we see here in this shot, just from a different vantage point. Of course, blue and orange immediately calls back to the Sheikah, whose technology, like the shrines and towers, glow orange when dormant and blue when activated. But these towers are clearly not the same ones from Breath of the Wild. Their locations don't match. I mean, there wasn't a Sheikah tower on top of Mount Lanayru. They also don't seem to glow during the daytime, which, if true, is also unlike the Sheikah towers. And yet the colors, orange and blue, do at least suggest a Sheikah connection as opposed to the other new technology, most of which have a green glow instead. My running theory right now is that they are crude, more basic versions of the Sheikah towers. In some shots they look like they might be made of wood or some other basic materials, like an old school medieval watchtower. I definitely don't think they rose from the ground like the original Sheikah towers did, because in some shots you can see a gap at their base, which to me suggests that they are standing on feet or tripods.
No turning back!
Perhaps because the original towers retracted back into the ground, and with no way to get them to rise back up again,
Your
the
life
current
is
day
mine.
Sheikah improvised and built
Don't waste my
replacements
time.
for them, which would have happened somewhere between the ending of Breath of the Wild and the beginning of Tears of the Kingdom. It's arguable if anything from Age of Calamity should be considered canon or not, since it's a spin-off, but here we did see the Sheikah recreating technology that mimics those from their distant ancestors. Case in point being these small portable furnaces, which mimic the much larger ancient furnaces from 10,000 years ago. By now we've all seen those strange-looking green spirals coiling around some sort of rock or spire. They're all over the place in many different shots, usually tucked away far in the background. Many are speculating that these might be this game's equivalent to fast travel points, just like the shrines and towers did. It's worth mentioning that so far all of these spirals are found on the surface, and we have yet to see a single one on the islands in the sky. So either they are limited to letting you fast travel to locations on the surface only, and getting to the islands will require different methods, or they serve as a connection between a point on the surface and in the sky. I did mention in my video about the new mechanic where Link phases through ceilings that the description inside the patents say that in some cases this jump can be performed with virtually no height limit. So maybe when Link stands on top or close to one of these spirals, he'll be able to soar upwards rapidly to a designated island. It would explain why none of these spirals are found on the islands themselves. Perhaps the only way to activate these warp points on the surface is from the skies above, after which Link will have established quick access to a specific island so he can get back there more quickly in the future. Maybe that's what some of these weird buildings are for, as some of them do seem to have a sort of altar which could be used to activate these fast travel points down below. Yes, it's almost certain that these spirals
leave no
need to
stone
be
unturned.
activated and are not there by default. Because in the shot where Link is riding his horse across Hyrule Field, you can see one of these spires or rocks this green coiling energy emanates from. Yet here, the spiral is absent. And in fact, I'm quite certain that this location is the very same one we see in one of the earlier nighttime shots. You can even see the same pools of malice right beside it. And here, the spiral is present, which hints that this shot takes place after it's been activated, and this one before Link has done so. So this is a short one because I don't really have a whole lot to say or theorize about it, but did you know that there's additional footage we didn't see in the original trailer? People have been able to dig up some sort of compilation video, I think from one of the Japanese websites, which features extended versions of some of the trailer sequences. Most notable are this shot, which wasn't even in the trailer at all. This one where Link is driving the car, which lasts a good few seconds longer and reveals more of the surrounding landscape on the left and right side, and the shot where he's riding that new flying machine, which shows a second floating sphere in addition to this one, also not visible in the original footage. The Great Plateau shows up a couple of times in the new footage, most notably this close-up shot, and there's a few where it's also visible in the distance.
Astra.
But it makes another appearance, and here
Thank you
it
for
reveals a
complete-
pretty important detail. This part of the plateau, which faces the desert, is normally covered in snow. But as you can see, not only is the snow gone, but there's trees and vegetation growing here now, which is very strange. However, I do think I have a plausible explanation for it. And no, it's not time travel. So remember how after the 2021 teaser, a lot of people were pointing out that the sun sun's location
Now
seems
people
to be
who just
different.
started
The main
playing
gist
the
of it
game
is
must
that
be
it's in
so
a point in the
confused as
sky
to
it
why
never
there's a
reached
fucking
before,
dog.
because of the way the day and night cycle worked in Breath of the Wild. Normally the sun would travel like this. It never reaches south of the latitude of Hyrule Castle. It always passes by its northern side, but in the teaser footage the sun was clearly located a lot more to the south, and in fact we see the same thing again in the new footage, so this hasn't been changed since. In other words, shadows in Breath of the Wild will never reach the angles we saw in the teaser footage. You can test this yourself. As was to be expected, this would ignite a debate regarding the possibilities of time travel. After all, why else would the sun change position like this so drastically, unless it takes place in a different age or something? However, I and some others proposed a different explanation at the time, and that is simply a season change. In real life, depending on where you are, the sun's arc across the sky changes significantly between winter and summer. In the winter it stays closer to the horizon, leading to lower temperatures, whereas in the summer it travels up higher. I think this serves as a solid explanation for the sun's shift in Tears of the Kingdom. We don't know exactly how much time has passed between the two games, but judging from the landscape changes, Zelda's new hairdo, and other factors like the Divine Beast being completely gone, it's hinted that there is a significant time jump of at least a few months. So maybe Breath of the Wild took place closer to the winter season, and Tears of the Kingdom closer to summer. We can still see what looks like snow higher up on the mountains, which makes sense, given the elevation, but a shift to the summer would explain why the snow at the edge of the plateau, which is closer to ground level, has now receded. The only hole I can find in this explanation is that in this shot, the plateau's wall also looks a bit different, more pristine and undamaged, which is definitely strange. One could say, well, maybe they fixed up the plateau in between games, but if that's the case, for some reason they only did it on this side of the plateau, because on the other side it's still heavily damaged on some spots, but who knows. Maybe the wall just looks different because of the perspective, or because the snow is gone and somehow makes it look unfamiliar, or maybe my whole season shift theory is just completely wrong. That's also possible, of course. At least there is still some hope left for the proponents of time travel. And that wraps it up for today. I will probably do another one of these in the near future because I have plenty more of these types of little discoveries, ideas, and theories to share, and not all of them are big enough to fit an entire video. In fact, the original idea for this video was to feature 10 of them, but as always I end up writing a much longer script than I expected, so I'll save the rest for later. I want to keep the content flowing in the next few weeks, and shorter videos definitely help with that. Once again, I will save the Patreon and member shoutouts for a bigger video, the Zelda Kodak to be precise. I did update the end screen, as you can see, which I actually did before the direct, but there's still some people missing, particularly the ones who joined during the live stream. So don't worry, I will give you all the shoutouts you deserve, including the people on screen right now. Just give it a few more days. Anyway, that is all for now, and I will see you all next time.
We're starting off this episode getting some dolphins. There's a small patch of ocean right next to Scar's base, which isn't too far from my base, but I'm having a little bit of trouble getting them to spawn. Aha! Dolphins! Dolphin! Dolphin! Why is this so hard? Okay, squad, listen up. I need you all to behave. You've immediately not behaved. Okay. You are not gonna like this very much, but I need you to get out of the water. And this is gonna be okay, because I have one of these. If you splash dolphins with water breathing, paradoxically, they don't drown, asphyxiate. So we're going to just drop these guys all the way over to my base, and hope that we make it all the way there. Yeah, this is kind of a strange way to kick off the episode. But we need them for our super speedy dolphin highway. Now since there's no way to breed dolphins, we have to get them all from the wild. So me, I'm just walking my dolphins by a cliff edge. Nothing weird going on here. Why? What did I do wrong? Dolphins are mammals. We shouldn't drop fish. What did I do wrong? Put through some more potions and think about what just happened. Okay, dolphins, round 2. Right, now, I'm not going to dilly-dally thinking that this is safe. There's a water, there's a river right next to where I can store them. Come on, dolphins! Quickly! Run, 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 run! I think there's a lot of very unrealistic things in this game, but this might be kind of near the top. Just dragging a few dolphins along the river. Yeah! I have a very strong suspicion that this may end up being one of my least favourite things to do, moving dolphins around. That journey is actually not too painful. Why? Alright, we've already
I'll
lost
give
a
it one more
dolphin
go.
for reasons that make absolutely no sense, so I'm just going to shave off every block, making this a completely rectangular aquarium so we have nothing to get stuck on whatsoever, and hopefully we can actually get these guys what they're intended for, which is this super speedy dolphin highway. Now, I've got a prototype here, there's absolutely no decoration yet, but I just want to get a functioning model together first. So, we're going to start here, we're going to try and get a dolphin into a booster, and then, well, I guess we'll just take things from there. I don't know why, I don't know what I did. Dolphins, I don't like them. I don't like Minecraft dolphins. For no reason whatsoever. All 3 of my dolphins, well, all 4 of my dolphins have decided they don't want to be part of my dolphin highway. That's really annoying. Have more dolphins, and I've just discovered something incredible. For some reason, Scar has already made a tunnel all the way through that connects up the water. So I'm not going to have to deal with this, so, I mean, at least I can get as many dolphins as I need fairly easily. Okay, this is strange. This is really strange. Okay, there's nothing to come in contact with anymore. Surely this is fine. All I need to do is to somehow get this big flopping mammal right in here. And I have a really strong feeling it's not going to cooperate. So easy. In fact, it's doing it. I don't know what's going on. Oh, I'm so happy right now. Hold on, let's take that off. Salt soil here. And break this. There we go. Oh my goodness, it's worked. It's worked! That was so much easier than I thought! Now I'm going to spend the time to make the first leg of the Dolphin Highway, including the little booster that goes right here, because we've got a dolphin ready to go. And let's just quickly check. Yes! 4 dolphins! I think I've got this in the bag. Okay, no. Let's not go. Because I don't understand anymore. I just don't understand. All my dolphins have left me. Okay, well, we can go. But let's go really sadly. Let's go. And it is complete. At least this leg of it is complete. As I've shown you before, all you gotta do is literally walk in, walk out, and you go so fast! You will always hit a little bit of a delay when you need to get that extra dolphin boost, but overall, I think it is a faster method of getting around. And then we hit this section where we need to make it diagonal. I did speak to V-Dubs and Scar and ended up not even trying to convince them. I was just saying there's no way to punch a hole.
Everyone hold hands!
It's not going to happen. So what we're going to do instead is make this diagonal pathway literally as wide as
Cold,
we can,
learn to command.
so
My
that the
guidance.
collision doesn't
Cross over!
That's the best feature that I've probably had quite enough of making these
I see
dolphin
everything.
islands. I was actually extremely lucky
Not now.
that there was so many oceans. Like there's an ocean right here, and that's where the majority of the dolphins came from. Doesn't this look so bizarre? This doesn't look like it should be a Minecraft mechanic at all. And after speaking with Etho for a little while, I have actually discovered, or been taught, why this happened, where all the dolphins that I got didn't make it. And it's basically because Minecraft dolphins suck. It's not fair because real life dolphins have 3 parts of the brain, they're super intelligent, and Minecraft dolphins don't live up to that reputation. And I'm going to explain for anyone who is going to attempt this kind of project, maybe they want the Super Speedy Highway.
Things are about to get dicey. Gotcha. Don't be scared. The night is cold.
So let's see if we can get some dolphins to spawn here. There we go. There's a dolphin. So dolphins in Minecraft are coded to need both air and water. So they hop out, they get some air, then they go in and they have water. But they're also
Not now.
coded that if you're far enough away from them, their AI dies, and basically they stop moving. So if I can go far enough away from this dolphin, it should stop moving. There we go, it has stopped moving because its AI has been disabled because I'm far enough away from it. That means it can no longer get the air that it requires to live. And eventually, it just dies. That's not great. So that's essentially what was happening. If you want to lose dolphins, there is a solution for this, which is essentially what I've done underneath the highway, which is put them in a bubble column. The air bubble keeps them both aerated and in water. So this is the only way that dolphins get to survive in this game. The more you know, I meant it when I said I'm learning things about Minecraft every single day. But enough about the Super Speed Highway. I want to point out that this car's lab is very much starting to creep closer to my base. And I was wondering whether we should give him a little warning. Speaking of Scar, he's streaming right now. So we're gonna try and get him. And we're gonna get him. We're gonna get him with our new favourite thing, anvils. I've learned a lot about anvils recently too. Especially that they can't be pushed by pistons, but they can be flung in the air. Ah.
Oh, what's the... Come on, Lizzie. Stop! No!
Make yourselves at home.
We did manage to get him just then. He had 1 heart left, so you gotta do it from a big height. Now I was wondering if I could get Scar to do something very basic for me, which is stand
Things
on
are
a
about to
big
get
red
dicey.
dot. And it turns out making a
Don't be scared.
filled slinger
That's against
is quite
Not
easy
now.
to do. Just like I demonstrated with Scar, all you need
Higher, higher, pants on fire.
you can pick it up. It doesn't bounce off 5 blocks. Now I'm probably gonna have to lower
Stars,
this.
shine for me. The night is cold.
Here comes the catch. Quietly now.
Everyone hold hands. See?
Really quite easily with a single observer and a bit of string. Probably way better ways to do this, but we shall see. I think I've done something wrong, but we'll find out. Oh no, we did it! We did it! Launched it straight out! I need to break a bit of this wall so I can see. Right, so it didn't get as far, quite as far as I thought. I'm not gonna lie to you, I was kind of hoping it would be somewhere over there. There might be a way to fling this even further with TNT, but you know what? This isn't a bad start. So, in theory, all we have to do is get Scar to stand right here. And there's no better way than Ed's
Share my
spot.
knowledge.
So, like it can stand here, and it says stand in the middle block and read this sign for a second. And then look up, should see an anvil
Gotcha.
popping over the hill.
What are they?
Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? I don't know. I need Scar for 1 second and see if it's experiment. Trees gone.
Time to go.
Grow, grow, grow. My guiding stars.
Okay, yeah. It's my base.
Quit it.
I I've died so many times I've lost everything.
I see
I
everything.
need to reset everything. Do you want to do one?
I think I have.
Not now. Don't be
Yeah,
scared.
I made one. I forgot.
Davey, it doesn't feel out.
Yeah, it looks better.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
Cross over.
Okay, right.
I feel so much better in this outfit now. Look at
If you go
the
towards
sunset
my
here.
base, I need you.
Super just.
If you go towards my base, there's a sign that I need you to read on the floor, okay? Okay, right. So this isn't suspicious at all, and you shouldn't be suspicious of me. But there is a giant cross over there on the floor, and I just need you to stand right on that. Thanks. Right. So there he is. Oh. And come on. There it is! I don't think he even saw it. And nobody saw that coming. Oh man, I want to set it up. I want to see what it looks like from down here. I want to know what his perspective looked like just then. Here he is. I had to trick him. I had to get him to take his helmet off so that he would die. Here he is.
Tell me there's a chance. Tell me there's a chance.
No, you only lose your stuff if I fire a second one. There you go. I had to trick you into taking off your diamond helmet. I think you smiled.
That's why I thought you just liked the way I looked. I thought you just liked the way I looked. Appreciated me.
Do you wanna have a go? I kind of want to see what it looks like from here, because I think you were looking at the floor.
I was reading the sign.
That's so good! That's so good! Yeah, this is
What
what
didn't die?
because I have a helmet on. That's why I had to get you to take your armor off. I had one heart left.
That's why you. Okay, I fully get it now.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Oh man, that looks so
Okay, wow.
funny. I couldn't see it for a second, then just as it got closer, and oh man, it just appears out of nowhere. Do you want another go?
How far can you fling one?
This is well, I mean, I think if I use TNT and other methods, I can get some real distance on it. But just using the piston pushers, I think this is as far as I can go. Basically, I think this trap only ever.
No, it didn't work on other people. It work on other people.
do you want to see the anvil again? Around two.
Yes,
It
I
looks
want to watch it.
so fun. 3, 2, 1. There it goes. Why?
That's terrifying, Grant.
It's good, isn't it? It just appears out of nowhere.